Good afternoon. Welcome to the webinar. Our topic for today is Digital Campus Transforming the Learning Experience of the Students. We thank you for making the time to attend the session. You can post your questions in the chat box throughout the presentation. The questions would be answered during the Q&A session post the presentation. Our presenters for today are Balaji Sankaran, General Manager, Consumer Technology at Manipal Global Education Services, Muneender Jillella, Assistant General Manager, Product Engineering at Manipal Global Education Services, and Manav Sehgal, Head of Solutions Architecture, Amazon Internet Services Private Limited. Once again, we would like to thank you for making the time to attend the session. Over to you, Balaji.
Hey, thanks, Rahul. Thank you all for taking the time out to join us today. What we want to do is today talk about our organization, which is MeritTrac. MeritTrac was founded 17 years ago by three entrepreneurs, and it is the India's first assessment organization. And it got acquired by the Manipal group, and it has been part of our portfolio ever since. And MeritTrac is known for conducting large-scale, high-stake examinations, both for government, education, corporates, and institutions. Today, just to recap, this is a three-part series that MeritTrac is jointly hosting with AWS as a part of the whole digital university solution. So in the first two webinars, we talked about the digital university. We talked about how digital assessments can be conducted. And today, the focus of today's talk will be around how you can digitalize the learning experience in your institutions. And that's what we're going to cover today. So what we're going to be talking about today is how we use EduNxt, which is a platform that we have homegrown over the past 8 to 10 years within our the organization, and how we use it in various learning scenarios, and how it can potentially impact your whole learning ecosystem. So just to talk about EduNxt, it was a product that was launched by Steve Ballmer, who was the CEO of Microsoft when on his visit to India, and it was designed completely in-house by our engineering team, which built it using open source technology. And it is being used in some of the largest educational institutions in India, and also large corporate organizations like banks and so on. So security is something that we care really about, and we have our product is kind of compliant to the OWASP guidelines, and so it's been certified by large institutions and banks to be safe and secure to run. Right, and also this product is based on some of the leading standards in the education industry, be it the LTI for integration standards, COM, QTI, TINCAN for content standards. So all standard content and standard integrations work out of the box for our product. And the reason why we are doing this with Amazon, because Amazon is a great partner for us, and I mean, 3 years back, we were in a data center, and we all know how complex and cumbersome that can be. We moved over to AWS as our infrastructure partner, and we've been able to deliver deployments within a matter of a couple of days for some of the large customers that we have. So cloud has really enabled us to get agility into our operations. And just a quick introduction in terms of the product, and also it is the product has won large number of awards and accolades all across the globe. This April, I was happy to go to London to receive the Learning Awards at the LTI organization, which is a prestigious body in the UK. And our learning solution, our whole digital stack was recognized on the global stage. We were the second among various players, which included Pepsi, which included TCS, and a whole bunch of other education technology providers. So we are a team of the organization itself is a large 1,000-member organization. It's a profitable and a cash flow positive organization, and we are part of the Manipal Health and Education Group. So Manipal hospitals and the Manipal University all come under the parent organization. Yeah. So moving forward, any EduNxt is a very modern and digital native solution that we've incubated, and the unique aspect of this is it has evolved over a period of time. We started with a web application, and then we added mobility. Then as tablets become more very popular, then we added tablet apps, and then now we have progressive web apps, so that you can do a complete offline experience. So the EduNxt ecosystem is a complete end-to-end ecosystem, much like any modern digital product that you would see. And they all talk to the same backend, so you can start with your mobile and then pick it up from your web, and then complete it in the tablet at home, and so on and so forth. Right, so it's an end-to-end integrated ecosystem with native apps for Android tablets, iPad, iPhone, and also we have an application for Windows as well. Right, so that's the user-facing experience, and that's backed by a very robust backend, which is obviously hosted on Amazon, and also it has the backend authoring system, which has its own native content workbench, where you can author content, curate content, and curate channels and so on. And we also, by the nature of us being in the higher ed space for so long, we have thousands of hours of digital learning content, which can be used across domains. And typically we do management, we do IT, data science, we do banking, we do soft skills, and so on. So we have a readily usable content catalog as well. So through this entire portfolio of products, platform, and content, we are able to offer a full stack which is hosted on cloud and ready to deploy in a matter of couple of days. Moving forward, so EduNxt has evolved over the years. I wouldn't talk about all the features here, but just I wanted to spend a minute to showcase all the different feature functionalities we have, and this spans the entire life cycle of learning, right from starting your course design to delivery of course content, how do you collaborate, how do you do assessments, and then how do you finally evaluate both the learner and the course outcomes, right? So we will talk about the select capabilities, and the way we have kind of structured this is to include the things that are most meaningful from a university or an institute standpoint, and how you can kind of deploy these capabilities to derive maximum benefit, right? So just a quick summary of our digital of our entire tech stack. It's built on a open source LAMP framework, which is Linux, Apache, MySQL, and PHP, and we have native apps for Android and iOS, and we use progressive web apps for offline web experience, and Node and Angular for us to manage our user experience. And at the bottom you would see all the kind of global compliance standards that we have, and last but not the least, we leverage the rich capabilities of AWS to enable us to ramp up and ramp down depending on because learning is seasonal and it's time of the day affair. So AWS helps us significantly through its capabilities there. Manav, would you want to talk to the audience about how AWS enables our scaling capabilities?
Absolutely, Balaji. Thank you so much. So hi everyone. So one of the things that customers who are using platforms like MeritTrac benefit from is all the benefits that AWS Cloud sort of passes on to platforms which are built on and well architected on the AWS Cloud, which MeritTrac is. So starting from the top, if you look at supporting multiple mobile apps, hundreds, if not millions of users, scalability becomes a very important factor, or as we call it, elasticity. So that has impact on how available the application is, how easily the platform can scale from few universities using the platform, few institutions using it, to hundreds, if not thousands, and students, of course. Elasticity also has an important role to play in terms of the overall cost of ownership of this platform for our customers, partners, and end users. So, how does the infrastructure, scale to the usage requirements, and only the relevant costs are taken out on a pay-as-you-go basis? That's all provided by the cloud infrastructure. On the middle part, when we talk about new innovations like using front-end MVC frameworks like Angular, or serverless capabilities like Lambda, there's this whole pace of innovation that AWS Cloud enables in terms of almost 4,000 odd features and services that we've launched till date. 1,400 of them launched just last year. So the pace of innovation is enormous, and with platforms like MeritTrac, which are built on top of, and EduNxt, which are built on top of AWS Cloud, these benefits are passed on to the users and customers. And finally, on top of the various certifications that you see here, of course, there's a number of certifications from a security standpoint and compliance that the AWS Cloud offers as part of a shared responsibility model, where the cloud, in terms of whatever is the security and compliance requirements of the cloud, that is the responsibility of AWS. And these certificates are available publicly for you to go through on the AWS website. So yeah, those are some of the areas where we can help.
Thanks, Manav. Moving forward, so we've structured this whole presentation into three parts. Like I said, there are a whole bunch of features, but it's obviously not about features; it's about outcomes. So we've taken three key stakeholders in the learning ecosystem. One is obviously the learner, who is at the center of everything that we do and we obsess about. And then there's the faculty who deeply care about what academic outcomes they are able to generate you through their pedagogy. And then there is the administrators who want to ensure that they're constantly watching out for blind corners and benchmarking the whole experience and the outcomes to the best in the world, right? So we wanted to talk about how our platform and its whole bunch of applications can help this whole learning ecosystem to deliver the value that each one of you is looking for. So I will turn the mic over to Muneender from my team, and he will talk about some of the key interventions we have done for all these various stakeholders. Over to you, Muni.
Thank you, Balaji. Hi. So, like Balaji explained at the beginning of this session, the platform is very feature-rich, and when we wanted to build the mobile app part of this platform, so we were brainstorming what features should be ported onto the mobile, what features should be made available on the mobile, and all that. So we have done an extensive user research, right? We traveled across India. We spoke with our students of various who are studying graduation, undergraduation, and all that. And so then we realized 3 or 4 use cases which the students are very much interested in and concerned about, and we have taken them and we designed this mobile app. So And we didn't want to make the mobile app feature rich because we wanted to keep it lightweight, and the intention was to make it a companion for the students. So wherever they go, they should feel like the whole university is with them when they have their mobile in their hand. So the way we have designed this experience is based on how the student is going to use it. So we realized that the student will go through the books, right? Whatever curriculum books they are supposed to go through, right? So reading them on the devices like on the desktop or mobile using PDF is obviously is not going to be a good experience. So first thing what we have done is that we have added support for EPUB content. So you see on the screen on the right side, we have provided a Kindle kind of experience here, where students can go through the entire book on their mobile, right? So you can imagine reading a PDF on that mobile, it's close to impossible. But and at the same time, they don't need to carry Kindle kind of device. If they have their mobile, they will be able to read their entire book on the mobile, right? That's one use case that we have addressed here. Then second one is the second highest use case is when they're learning some advanced topics, they may want to refresh the older topics that they have already done, or during the examination they may want to quickly go through the topics and some important content. So for that, what we have introduced is you see in the on the screen, the middle screen, we call these summary cards. So the summary cards will help the students quickly browse through by tapping on each of these cards, right, and refresh their knowledge on that particular topic. So this particular use case is basically very useful when they want to refresh their readings which they have already done and just before the examination. That's the second one. And also because we wanted to again, these are all young students, they're digital savvy and all that, so we wanted to give them a gamified experience. So what we had done is we have come up with a concept called challenge. So wherein one student can challenge other students, so their batchmates, and they will basically they can select. If you see the screen on the first screenshot on this screen that you're seeing, so you system will randomly pick up three of his students batchmates, and they can pick up. So this is like this is to engage them better. So suddenly I will see my friend's photo coming there, I would want to challenge one of them, and then see how do I do against that particular friend or batchmate and all. So we have introduced this kind of features, right? Obviously there is searching, and then faculty can send push notifications, reminders, and all those are regular features. I'll not go into the details of that, but these are powerful. So when we done the analysis of the usage and all that, we found the summary cards, quiz challenges. There's a lot of people, students are taking the challenges, they're finding it very useful, right? And the summary cards, they found it to be very useful because they can quickly refresh the content, right? Moving on. So that was the mobile part. And then for our tech students, basically, so today if they want to practice anything, say R programming, if they want to practice, they have to install the entire R setup, or Python or Java, whatever the programming language, they have to set up that all the packages, everything onto their machine, and then start practicing it. So we wanted to solve that problem anywhere, wherever they go, right? If they have browser, right, they should be able to access these labs. So the screenshot that you see right now is actually a browser using which students can write the code, right? And the beauty of this tool is that it auto evaluates the code. So even if they have written some code if the faculty is not available, the tool will tell whether this obviously whether this code is working properly or not. That's a basic level of evaluation. But what it also does is it evaluates the quality of the code. So how well they have written the code, right? Whether it is security concerns are taken care, or the number of lines of code, whether the best practices are followed, or so all these code quality attributes will also the tool will test, and so that's how they will come to know whether the code they are writing is working fine or not, but also whether it is properly written or not. So we have support for all the modern programming languages, right from Oracle, Java. You can see the Selenium test cases. So people who wants to write automated Selenium test cases, the tool evaluate the test cases also, right? We also have recently introduced support for full stack LAMP, right? So if they are writing a code in a full LAMP using LAMP stack, the tool will auto evaluate whether that entire LAMP stack code is proper or not. So this again, we have found this the students have found it to be very useful because it is available anywhere, anytime. Just open the browser, start coding, and it auto evaluates and tells whether your code is proper or not. We have a huge library of the programming challenges. So we have close to 170 programming challenges that learners can go through. And obviously there is things like timer if the exercises are time bound, and if there is a command line input, yes, there is a support for that. If the program has to be executed on a browser, yes, there is a support for that. And then if there is a database query has to be written, and that also will get auto evaluated. And so recently we have conducted one assessment, which is where the students are asked to develop a complete project. It was HR analytics dashboard, right? And it was not just giving the program input and then you see what is you show what is the output. It's but instead the students were asked to develop a complete HR analytics dashboard where they have to get the data from the database, process it using the, so there is a MVC architecture. You have to write the middleware services, business services, data services, right? And the program was, and the tool was able to auto evaluate. So this also saves a lot of time for the faculty. So if there are say 200 students one faculty is handling, and if there are say, just imagine each student is submitting say 10 assessment, 10 coding exercises, then it is practically impossible for the faculty to evaluate 200 into 10, that is 2000 submissions, both for the correctness of the code and also the quality of the code. So this is not only for the students, but also faculty also will have found it to be very useful, right? So that was about online labs, right? Moving on, again, this the target audience is youngsters. They are used to playing games. They know they play a lot of online games. So we wanted to bring in, so we wanted to engage them better. So when we have done brainstorming, then we realized that like I explained before, challenge is one of the ways that we can engage them better. But it's not just challenge, we have taken that to the next level, and we have introduced something called tournament. So tournament is something, suppose if an institution has say 5,000 students, out of which say 1,500 of them are MBA students, so you want to conduct one tournament among them, right? So the institution will be able to conduct that tournament. You can define what are the obviously what is the timeline. There will be a league matches, and then the people will go to the semi-finals and then to the finals, and there will be first second prizes that you can define, right? So and everything happens online and on their devices. So we can provide badges and ranking to them. And this SMU, so we have conducted SMUD Wisdom League recently. We found it to be very useful. Participation was high. Again, because of the young audience, these kind of features, we found that they were very engaging to them, engaging the learners. Right. Moving on. So then again, the next set of tools that we spoke about was to address the problem of collaboration. So again, today's young audience, they spend a lot of time talking to their friends on say Facebook, Google Plus, and all that. But we wanted to convert that collaboration in the academics also. So we have provided the discussion board tool where the faculty can give a topic, and then students can participate, they can like, they can reply. Now the beauty of this one is for the faculty, they can also convert this to improve the participation. They can also convert this discussion into a into the curriculum, saying that 20% of the weightage can be given to the discussion board, and the system will enable faculty to evaluate the posts. And again here, evaluating each post in a discussion. For example, say there are 500 students participating in one discussion. It is difficult for the faculty to evaluate each and every post. Again, system will solve the problem by providing the peer evaluation. So what it does is system will form groups among the subgroups among the students, and it will ask each student to evaluate other 5 students. Say if there are 500 students, we can form groups, each group consisting of say 5 students. One student can evaluate other students on the predefined criteria that is defined by the faculty. So that way the evaluation also problem is solved, and the collaboration also can happen, and because it is integrated, can be integrated into the course curriculum, the participation also can be improved. Then that is one tool for the collaboration. And then the second tool that we have given is the ask part. So if they once the classroom lecture is over, when they go home, if they have any doubt and all that, obviously faculty will not be available during the non-working hours. So we have developed a AI-based chatbot, right? So the beauty of this chatbot is it is cognitive in nature. That means it understands the course content, that is your any institution's course curriculum content, and it goes through content. There are machine learning and AI services that we use. You can see on the screen, it's not just the text content. It also goes and fetches content from the videos. Now this is where again our partner AWS helped us a lot in building this board. In the background it uses AWS cognitive services. So I would request Mano from AWS team to throw a light on the kind of services that will help us now, helping us now and also going forward.
Sure, thanks a lot. So, this is a very good segue to talk about two important things. One, how the AWS space of innovation, those 4,000 odd services and features I talked about, how these help our customers and partners like MeritTrac innovate this platform on behalf of their customers, and do that very, very rapidly. And also enable very quick deployment, very quick agility in terms of deploying this platform for you as their customers. So the application services that AWS provides as part of AI/ML cover a raft of areas, including image recognition, natural language processing, and so on. But also conversational interfaces like Lex API and text-to-speech, which is Poly, as we call it. And these technologies are the technologies which are powering devices like Alexa, Echo, Echo Dot, Echo Show, which are now available world over. So imagine, so many users who are using the Alexa Echo devices are actually helping improve the technologies that are used in these devices, Lex and Poly, and all that improvement consistently and constantly is helping improve platforms and products that that MeritTrac is offering to you because they're built on the same technologies.
Yeah, Thank you, Manu. Right, so those are some of the features. Like it is feature rich. We couldn't cover everything in this session, so we'll quickly move on to the faculty part, right? Again, faculty, the faculty will have very less time in the classroom, say 45 minutes to 1 hour. So we wanted to solve their problems. So we wanted to automate some of the repetitive tasks. One of the repetitive tasks is obviously the attendance capture. So we have developed a very intuitive, user-friendly tool. It's an OTP-based attendance, and then using this, the faculty can finish the entire attendance part in less than 2 minutes time, right? So that's one of the, so there are other activities. The attendance is one which, yeah, they can quickly finish it off, right? Moving on, this is one interesting pedagogy that we have seen it in action. It is very, so far it's been very successful. So in this pedagogy, what happens is that the faculty, before starting the class, right, they would be doing some surprise test, right? So basically this surprise test is to understand the level of understanding of a particular concept by learners. So and faculty will release this particular assessment then and there. So immediately after capturing the attendance, the faculty will release the test, and all the students are expected to take the test. So this whole activity that I'm explaining is supposed to be finished in less than say 10 minutes time, max 5 to 6 minutes. So the faculty will release the test with just a button click. They will release the test, and then the students will be taking the test then and there, right? And immediately the platform, if you see on the right hand side, the platform provides the insights, saying what is the level of understanding of that particular concept by the learners, right? So based on this, the faculty would know immediately that either the student know the concept very well, so that he can skip some basics of that, or students may not know the basics of that, and then he might have to start from the basics. So that's the insight it gives, and then immediately the faculty can adapt the lecture. So this will make a monotonous one size fits all and broadcast kind of model, and it will, the faculty will understand the level of understanding of the class, and then they can and adapt the lecture as per the, based on the insights that the platform provides, right? uh, so again, so understanding the learner. So one is the classroom surprise test, and then overall how they are progressing. So the platform provides rich analytics, right? You can see on the screen how the learners are progressing, who are the laggards, right? Who are the what is the feedback, how many are ahead of schedule, how many are behind the schedule, everything with the click of a button. The platform provides. So this will help faculty in intervening at the right time. So instead of waiting for the waiting to know who are all the laggards till after the midterm exams are over, on a regular basis, probably on a weekly basis, they would know who are all running behind, who are the fast learners and all that. So the platform gives the rich analytics, and also they can drill down. So basically, if somebody is behind the schedules, you would like to know who are those people, and then you would like to know what is their time spent, what is their attendance, everything. So this will help them understand what is the root cause of the problem, why they are behind the schedule, right? So the platform provides such analytics, right? So you can also see some of the insights here, right? The first graph that you see, you define a benchmark how your learners want to be, and then define who is falling there. The first one is the distribution, how they're where are your toppers, where are your laggards, and all that. So in fact, this is a screenshot. In the platform, you will actually see there, you can zoom in, you can see their photographs, so you will know who are all the students who are doing good and who are not doing good. That's one aspect of these insights. And then there is this content effectiveness. So if you see the mastery insights below, right? So we run again machine learning and AI based algorithms on the data, the course delivery data, and also on the content. Again, our AWS services will are helping us to identify insights. So these are, you're not going and accessing for asking for some data insight, but the algorithms are running continuously, and they they are giving the insights out of the data, right? So that is where our AWS services like Comprehend and others are helping us. Again, Manav, would you like to talk about this? Some of the services like Comprehend and also the usage analytics, the sentiment analysis, those kind of services, how they are helping us.
Sure. So this is where it gets real, right? When you start seeing insights on the platform as it's being used by your students or end users, and to offer these insights, there is a law of machine learning, an informal law of machine learning or AI or analytics, which is larger data sets. The larger the data set, the better the analytics. Right? It seems very logical, but that also poses a problem because the larger the data set, the more you're managing it, the more compute or processing power you need. So all that is taken care of by the AWS cloud in the form of three sort of services, a set of services. One would be what we call data lake. So it's fairly straightforward to bring in this data from a platform which is well architected, like the one you're seeing here on AWS cloud. Bring in the data, extract the metadata from that data, whether it is structured, unstructured data. Structured data, obviously, you will work with metadata and do analytics. Unstructured data, you will run services like Comprehend, as Malik, as you just heard, where what Comprehend can do is it can actually, as what the service name signifies, it will comprehend entities and known objects from within unstructured text, which has never been seen with the system, without you having to actually create a machine learning model. Again, this is one of the application AI services. You could also potentially um, then pass this data to a more complex machine learning model to drive further analytics built on top of a service like SageMaker. So what SageMaker does is it brings together the entire data science pipeline, the entire set of data lake infrastructure, more than 13 first-party algorithms that AWS research team has developed for its customers to provide the best performance, best cost efficiencies in terms of running these models and training these models for machine learning, and of course the best accuracy in terms of the insights that these models are delivering.
All right. So yeah. So those actually indeed are very useful. Manav, we have used some of the Sage Comprehend and SageMaker. We are planning to use, right? Yeah. So moving on, again, this is I will not spend much time on this. In many of the colleges, so people will go for industrial training, and there will be faculty development programs and all that. So if you want to track, as part of the industrial training, what is happening on the ground, or if you are taking a faculty development program and you want to track how this training program is going on, we call it OJB, on the job training tool or industrial training tool. So this tool will help you in tracking the progress of that, how students are taking part in that industrial training and faculty is taking part in faculty development program. Right, so those are some of the features for the faculty, right? So like Balaji said, we have content, workbench, curation, everything. So I will not go into the details. We'll quickly move on to the administrator feature, right? So as an administrator, you would like to see overall how, what are the learning academic outcomes. So a university may have multiple colleges, and there will be multiple branches of the same colleges. You would like to see how each branch, how is the progress in academics, right? Who are all the people who are active, what is the time spent and all that stuff. So the platform provides rich reports and also analytics on that. right? And then we have again, as an administrator, you want to have unbiased evaluation of your assessments, right? So there is a rubric based evaluation tool that is available. So what the way it works is that as a course administrator or as academic administrator or HOD, you define on what parameters the evaluation of an assignment has to be done, right? So for example, in this screen you can see the weightages being given and also what are all the different criteria, right? The faculty is expected, or the evaluators are expected, to use this criteria and then evaluate the assessments. So by doing this, what you are achieving is you're standardizing the evaluation. So everybody is evaluating on the same set of parameter, weightages and all that, right? Right. So this is, and the next set is online education. There's a lot of regulatory new policies coming in from the government of India. I would request Balaji to talk about this.
So if you're an administrator and you're looking to kind of make your institution global or national, beyond the confines of the premises that you operate in, the government of India is coming up with a whole bunch of regulations, or rather guidelines, in terms of how best to conduct online degrees and so on, right? So all leading institutions which have good NAC ratings like ourselves, we have received these guidelines for inputs and so on and so forth. So as we, and this can be a potential a game changer for education in India, and it's actually an inflection point in terms of online education, because you would be able to provide valid degrees which are where the course is done completely without coming to the college. But that said, it places fairly stiff demands in terms of the rigor and the extent to which the online education has to be administered. So one of the things what we've done is we've taken a sample of some of the atypical asks that have come out as a part of these guidelines, and just wanted to demonstrate that EduNxt is already there in terms of capabilities. Right. One of the first things that they've said is, when you conduct an assessment, it should be proctored. The video should be recorded, and also you should have AI-based tools to kind of detect any anomalies. So what you see on the screen is a candidate taking the quiz. The candidate's face is being continuously videotaped, and if the candidate makes movements which talk to the neighbor, or try to switch tabs, or face is going out of focus, etc., then the AI engine underlying it kind of always watches it. And what you see on the foreground with a lot of greens and ambers and red tell you how much the candidate was conformant to the strict of proctoring specifications, and how many times he or she did not meet up to it. So this is like does one thing, which is to make your degree and examinations very credible, and also it builds an enormous data profile of the various candidates. So that can be leveraged in terms of counseling them, or even demonstrating to them that they failed the audits and so on. So this is an interesting capability that we already have and we use in our exams extensively. And this rightly the government has specified this as mandate. Right. The next one is the point of presence validation through a solution like Aadhaar, which kind of ties into the India stack. Right. So what the government wants is for you to validate every candidate that you are physically present in the precincts where the exam is being conducted. So on the right, you can see a mobile app which, when connected to an Aadhaar enabled fingerprint device, it can connect to the Aadhaar server and say, hey, candidate XYZ was here, and also the fact that this is the geolocation at which this information was captured, and this is the photograph of the candidate. So you create once again verifiable, audit trail ready artifacts that can be useful in a online education world. Right. And the other interesting aspect, and that's a very important point because we run a large assessment business, is the adaptive testing. So what the government wants, the assessment is not the regular multiple choice question, is for it to adapt based on what the user's capabilities are. So on the left hand side, what we have is the item characteristic curve, as we call them, which talks about on one hand is the ability on the x-axis, and the y-hand is the probability of getting it right. And if you see the slope of this curve at any point gives the discrimination that how well this particular question is able to kind of discriminate between the knowledgeable and the pretenders, right? So once you have this information for every item, then you can kind of stitch together an assessment which will progressively give tougher items as you score better, right? And this is adaptive testing. It's very it is based on theory of testing done a few decades back, but now the computing capability and our rich data architecture enables us to do this fairly regularly, right? And we have this as a capability in the part of the platform. The next one is, many of the students complain that either the stuff is too tough or is too easy. So the learning path again can follow based on meta tagging and based on user behavior to get to a point where we can show up the content which will exactly service the needs of the learner, so that we're not giving him too basic content, or giving them too complex content that will turn them off. So we can calibrate the pedagogy to be at the right level. So just to summarize, the digital learning is at a point where it's going to really take off in the coming year or so, and having a platform which is hosted on cloud and ready to deploy in a matter of days provides a great opportunity for organizations and institutions around the country, if not the globe, to kind of take this education to the next level. So that's where we are. Thanks for your time, and now we'll turn it over for the questions. Yeah.
Okay, so Balaji, there is a question: how AI will transform education?
Let me give the functional view of it. So like we said, two use cases we talked about, which is just the tip of the iceberg. So AI can be this, the teaching assistant, so to speak, right? It can respond to some basic queries. It can give you some information which is otherwise buried in notice board, etc. And also it can throw up insights which otherwise a human eye would find it hard to catch. So by leveraging AI, we can kind of make it as the intelligent assistant, which can constantly monitor the cohorts, and also kind of identify the needle in the haystack, so to speak. Yeah.
Okay, so there's a next question. It says, what about the medical institutions? So Balaji, can you explain about how the platform is used in medical institutions?
So it's a very interesting question. We have a couple of medical schools, one in Manipal, Kasturba Medical College, and one in Antigua called American University of Antigua. So we have simulators. For example, the Antigua College has simulators where newbie doctors can even operate on the digital cadaver, so to speak, rather not operate. Probe into the digital cadaver, and then there are sensors which publish this data back into the platform, right? So you can plug our EduNxt platform into such deep simulators, so to speak, and in medical, given the depth and the coverage of the subjects, we constantly use practice quizzes and mobile friendly content to constantly keep the audience aware. Yeah.
So there is another question from a professor from Pune. They ask, how does this help research student? Is it a complete ERP system?
It usually connects to what we call as a student lifecycle management system. So where that is usually the ERP where you pay the fees and you manage the student attendance register and planning and so on and so forth. And also, like Muni showed you earlier, it has some capabilities like attendance marking, etc., that you can do on this platform. This usually is coupled to the student lifecycle management system in large institution like yours, and which can be used for as an end-to-end digital solution. In fact, in our situation, we integrate both with Microsoft Dynamics as an ERP and SAP SLCM as ERPs.
There is another question, probably Manav, you are the right person to answer this. The question is it too early to rely on AI?
Okay, it's a very broad question, but let me answer it this way. So, if you look at the origination of AWS, where we came from Amazon, and Amazon had been around for 10, 11 years before AWS was launched. And if you're using any of the Amazon products or services, it's quite likely that you've actually come across AI and machine learning use cases. So we've been within Amazon been using AI for more than 2 decades now. What you're seeing now is wide-scale adoption of AI ML, and that's quite evident in products which are available on your mobile phone, which recognize your voice or recognize your face or your retina for biometrics. That's very evident in products like Alexa, Echo devices, which recognize your voice and respond in human-like voice, which is generated by artificial intelligence. And most importantly, we are seeing platforms like EduNxt. We are seeing customers in the education industry make very creative uses of AI, chatbots, machine learning, analytics, and as very rightly put by Balaji, as something which is assisting the whole teaching methodology and learning systems, and not really looking at replacing things at the moment. So yeah.
Yeah. So there's another question: how AR VR can be used to enhance learning? Yes, we have done some R&D, and also we have created some courses using AR and VR here. For example, one example I would like to talk about is in the banking. If you have to train a probationary officer on a branch operations, so we had created one VR tool wherein by wearing the device, they will see the entire branch in front of them, and all the activities that are supposed to be done at the branch are simulated using this tool. And the AR VR tools are again integrated into the platform to provide analytics on the usage and the activities.
So, and just to add, the importance of AI, ML, and AR, VR, we now have a service which is available within the AWS cloud, and it's called Sumerian. So if you look it up, it's actually a comprehensive web-based editor for creating 3D virtual reality, augmented reality environments. You create that environment once, and it comes with pre-built avatars or hosts which can use gestures and again chatbot-like interface and speech recognition and voice to behave like virtual avatars, as you would imagine, all backed by the AI ML capabilities that we spoke about earlier.
Right. So there's another question: can we make complete carbon zero footprint university campus with this system? Balaji, would you like to answer that?
Yeah, so that's a very interesting question. So, in fact, one of the things that what we are doing in this is, moving, save the forest, right? Like moving some of the printed stuff online. For example, earlier earlier, there used to be workbooks where you had to fill in and make submissions for for the teacher to grade, etc. By moving them completely online, there was a presentation on how much paper the universities save. And there was another solution where you could take the exam on iPad equivalent device, and it would just be a bunch of carbon atoms you would move and not actual carbon. So the point is, yes, absolutely, moving digital always has a positive impact on the ecosystem, and we are doing most of the things we are taking in the real physical world into digital, and we are in that process. Yeah, that's a great question.
Can you provide demo to our students? Yeah, why not? So please drop in your credentials. We'll be happy to come to your institution and we'll do the demo. There's another question. Where do you see the acceptance trend of digital learning from learners in India? So Balaji, could you please answer that?
Yeah, so I think what Muni mentioned earlier in the conversation, when we did the survey on the users, what we wanted was there was a lot of demand for mobile-based learning, because people carry mobile phones all around the day, and they spend extraordinary amount of time on that. So by bringing mobile ready content and mobile ready learning, what we've seen is about 50 to 55% of our learners only use the mobile device. They don't even log into the desktop, right? So, or the web version. So mobile has the potential to take the online learning to the next higher level. And once it's coupled with intelligence from AI, ML, then the mix can be really dramatically alter the adoption rates.
Okay, so there's another question. Can we get complete analysis of data at a click by admin? Yeah, so like I explained when I was going through the administrator capabilities, right? We have a large analytics. We maintain a large warehouse and also the analytics system, and we do take help from AWS services to do supervised, unsupervised, implement those algorithms, and then get insights out of the data. So in short, there are reports, drill down reports, and also we will provide you the insights from the data of the system. Okay, so this is a question: how the system is implemented in our daily life? Can you provide demo? Yeah, so we will be able to provide you the demo. That should not be a problem. Please drop in your credentials, your contact details, right? We'll be happy to come to your place and we'll do the demo. There's one more question, Balaji. Could you talk about its usefulness in pharmacy school?
Yeah, again, pharmacy is a discipline where things evolve very rapidly. So in our own pharmacy institution, what we do is we provide a constant update of the emerging trends and the approved medication and so on and so forth. So yeah, absolutely. And in this context, again, mobile learning with push notifications and also constant updates has proved to be very invaluable. So we kind of applied this in disciplines as far out as data science to fine arts, right? So the applicability is kind of universal. The only feedback I would provide is there are some nuances specific to each discipline, and in both the instructional design and the content and also the right feature set, we have to make careful choices. That's the only input I have. Yeah.
Okay, there's a next question. Can we include virtual learning in this system? So, Balaji, do you want to answer this?
Yeah, so when we say virtual learning, we integrate with one is the remote faculty kind of a situation, which we integrate with typical webinar kind of a solution. That is at one level. And the other level is, what Muni talked about, which is AR, VR, which is around giving immersive experiences for you to learn, which is again through immersive virtual experience. And then the third the level of virtual experiences, for example, our online programming environment behaves and acts like a typical programming environment like Eclipse would behave, right? So by giving access to that simply over a web browser, we are simulating the real life situation that a developer would face as he goes into the job. So that's something that helps us. Yeah.
There is another question whether EduNxt gives feedback about content to faculty to improve the content and teaching methodology. Yeah, so EduNxt does give feedback. So because of the shortage of time, we couldn't get into the details of those. What we have is called something called likes, dislikes of the content. That's at very lowest level. When students are going through the content, they can like, dislike, and also then there is this rating of the content. So these tools will help us determine what is the content students are liking, what do they don't like, where are they spending time, where they don't spend time, right? And also we do for question bank, we do CTT kind of analysis, wherein we say, for example, there is a question, and if you find majority of the students are not able to attempt that question correctly, is it due to the fact that the question itself is difficult, or is it due to the fact that the answer options, one of the answer options is not answer option is not there, or if they are doing it well, whether the differentiators are proper or not. So this kind of analysis will system will provide, and based on that, the content administrators and the faculty can revise their content and adjust their content. Okay, so there's one more question, Balaji. What would be the cost of your tool? Does it have long durability with respect to its usage and applicability?
Yeah, so that's an interesting one. So the cost is like, since we are a cloud-hosted subscription-based model, so we offer on a per user, per annum kind of a licensing model, and typically the initial upfront fees are very low to non-existent, and you only pay for what you use. And then the second terms, in terms of durability, yeah, it was inaugurated by Steve Ballmer. It has seen two Microsoft CEOs, so it's fairly durable. And in terms of applicability, yeah, it is applicable fairly universally. We use it in various different contexts. Yeah, that is for the others.
Okay.
Any other questions?
This. Let me see. There are a few more, I guess.
Yeah, I think we're pretty much.
So there are questions around, can you do the demo to our students and all that? Yes, we could do the demos. There's a question about medical institute, which Balaji had already answered. The platform is being used in two of our prestigious medical institutions, Kasturba Medical College and our Antigua Medical College. There's a question, is it an SAP version?
No, it integrates with SAP. It's not part of SAP. It's a custom built, homegrown, open source based solution. Yes.
Can you provide help to students to build native mobile apps, how they can practice? Balaji, could you talk about our training for mobile app?
Yeah, so like we in our programming environment, we have the ability for you to integrate with simulator environments where someone could practice coding and so on and so forth. So for most of our IT courses, etc., we provide like we showed. What we showed was the only the technologies that are supported using auto evaluation. But for mobile development, etc., we integrate with open lab where you can practice developing Android code and then running it on a simulator and so on. Yeah. Anything else, Muni?
Okay, there are questions around the demos only, so we'll be able to do the demos.
I think we covered all that. At the bottom, are there any questions? So, Rahul, I think we are done with the questions. Over back to you.
Thank you. Thank you all for joining. Have a nice day.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye. Is it muted?